Okay, good evening again, everyone. Now we come to the High School Business Challenge part of the evening. Many of you in this room are familiar with this outstanding educational program offered by the Montana Chamber Foundation in Montana's high schools. In fact, many of you have been loyal sponsors. We and Montana's youth and the future business leaders of Montana thank you. So if you're not a sponsor, consider this an opportunity. You too can be a sponsor of a high school business challenge school. So think, is my school listed? Is my school in it? If not, please be in touch with us. We'd love to have you help get this into our schools. So you might say to yourself, I've sat through this dinner many times. What is the High School Business Challenge? It's a business simulation. It's offered to all the high schools. It's taught in some private schools and even one of our colleges in Montana. It's in its 16th year. And it basically allows the students to run a business that manufactures, that's right, makes a product, and sells a DVD player. So the teams are made up of 2 to 5 students. They make decisions on marketing, research, loans, employment for their business. Who should they hire? Who should they put on the bus? All of those things for a business over an 8-week period. And that represents 8 business quarters. Their success is measured by their stock price. Not sure if anybody knows what that is here in this room. Throughout the simulation as well as at the end. Not stimulation, it's simulation. All right, more of you are listening than I thought. Okay. The challenge doesn't just happen. Along with your generous contributions, and I know I already mentioned the silent auction and the raffle that we're rigging, we have 2 great partners to pull this off. So, without further ado, I'm going to ask Kelly and Dax to both come up here. I'm going to tell you a little about them as they wander up. Dax, Kelly. Kelly Creswell from the Student Assistant Foundation is a Montana Chamber and a former foundation board member. And in fact, she was the president of the Chamber Foundation Board in the past. Dax is the new director of the Montana Council on Economic Education, Day 2, right, Dax? Woo! He's doing great, which administers the challenge for the Montana Chamber Foundation. So many of you might have to picture Dax in a ski helmet and goggles because he was at Big Sky Resort and did a great job for them for many, many years. So with that, Kelly, a few remarks, and then Dax, remembering our audience.
Hi, everyone. Student Assistance Foundation is a proud partner with the High School Business Challenge. We work with the Chamber Foundation to sponsor scholarships for all of the winners every year, and it's always exciting to see. I think today, many of you may have seen the news that we have seen an increase in high school graduation, which is awesome, and kudos to Denise Juneau and all of our public schools for that. The connection with the High School Business Challenge is this. Often the staff at the Montana Chamber hear from students and teachers who are involved with the program that this is the program that keeps a certain student at their school coming to school every single day. So not only are they learning business practices, but this program really does help keep some of our kids in school. And hopefully some of these kids will one day be employers or employees of all of us who hire throughout the state. So thank you for your support. I'll echo Amy's encouragement to visit the silent auction and to support the High School Business Challenge. Dax?
Well, thanks, Webb, for inviting me to visit with everybody here, and Amy for the kind introduction. Yes, 18 years, I worked at Big Sky Resort. Now I get some new opportunities, and so I'm working with Montana Council of Economics Education. It's pretty new for me, but I couldn't be more excited because we do some really neat work. And we work with the High School Business Challenge with the partnership with the Montana Chamber. So Montana Council Education, or Economic Education, we have a mission, which is to provide the youth of Montana the opportunity to understand essential economic systems. I think people in this room would really recognize how important that is, that we are doing that work in the high schools, and that we are really there to teach these fundamental economic systems. We're going to be a more successful state as we do this and meet that mission. So we do it a couple different ways, and one of those is that we work on an economics challenge. We host that in March. We work with the Federal Reserve, and it's a great program where a lot of the high schools come to Helena. They get to stay in a hotel and work together, and then they basically have a quiz and then have an event, a game that they play at the Federal Reserve working on economic theory. Then we also have a simulation stock market game that's in the high schools, and we're always looking to work with more high schools on that. And then also MCEE does some really important work in providing educational training for high school teachers. And we find this to be one of the most direct ways to really reach the high school students by providing this education for free. And we are able to do that in Bozeman in the spring. And we have a couple of different learning modules that we use, but professors from MSU are able to give that really important training, and we invite teachers to work on that. So if you are in a community where perhaps there's some capacity and the teachers want to learn that, please have them contact us because we can get that all connected for their continuing education hours. Then tonight we do want to highlight the High School Business Challenge because we're working with the Montana Chamber Foundation. Pretty cool program in that we have worked with 20,000 Montana high school students over that 16 years. And this group with the Student Assistance Foundation has provided over $80,000 in scholarships to high school students over that time frame. Of course, they are able to do that because you guys are all contributing and buying a lot of raffle tickets. Keep buying raffle tickets. I would like to recognize a couple of the board members at MCEE that are here tonight, and I really apologize in case I missed anybody. Like I said, it's pretty new for me. We have Matt Jones from BNSF here. I think we have 5, Matt. Jim Edwards with Levitt Great West. Thank you. I saw him in the corner near the bar. Steve Turkowitz with Montana Bankers Association. And then Todd O'Hare with Cloud Peak Energy. And then Rick Edwards with Northwestern Energy. So thank you. So that's your board. They, of course, know much more about the program than I do at this point, but I'm, again, so excited to be able to work with this group and continue to make Montana a better place through high school education, and it's going to be with the support of this group. So Webb, Stacy, this is great partnership, and thank you this evening, and enjoy your rest of your night.
Okay, thank you, Kelly and Dax, for that. At this time, we're closing the bidding, so Kylie Keene, I know you love to bid on silent auctions. You better run out there with all the rest of those folks. We're closing the silent auction here. On your way to the bar, you can go through one more time, and that's it. And our raffle tickets. So without further ado, we're now to the keynote part of the Lawmaker Appreciation Banquet, and our speaker was the perfect fit. So Governor Steve Bullock, personally, I've had the pleasure of knowing him since 1998. He has a great sense of humor, which I have watched serve him well in office, both as Attorney General and as Governor of the great state of Montana. I look forward to hearing his remarks tonight on the state of business in Montana. And with pleasure, please let me introduce and welcome to the stage our 24th Governor of the state of Montana, Steve Bullock.
Thank you so much, Amy, and thank all of you for having me. One of the things that I noticed is between Amy and Dax, damn near everybody in this whole audience was thanked, with the exception of probably the important people, Webb's wife, Kathy, and the legislative spouses. So if you'll please stand up, legislative spouses. Indeed, from speaking from personal experience as well, that it's while we're here to appreciate the lawmakers, that it certainly is often the spouses that keep the families together and kids still smiling and all of that, as I can attest to in my own life. In some respects, listening to Amy as she started out, for some people, might have been sort of PTSD flashbacks, in as much as if we think about a year ago, about now, last year, we were just kicking off a legislative session. But where I think by session's end, some real good things were accomplished for the state of Montana. Things that are already bolstering our economy, improving job and wage growth, strengthening our public education system, and ensuring the government is cutting waste, living within its means, and responsibly managing our state budget. So many of you know my top priority going into the last legislative session, and the one constitutionally mandated responsibility that I share with the legislature was the passage of a state budget. And I proposed a budget that would continue our strong record of fiscal management that Montanans deserve from their state government. A budget that included a responsible rainy day fund that ensured that our state was prepared for unexpected challenges that come our way, budget that didn't spend more than we took in, and a budget that made strategic investments that would benefit Montana for generations long beyond the service of any individual governor or legislator. The whole laws and sausages thing certainly has some impact. You don't always want to see either of them made, but I think after months of negotiations that I signed a into law budget that will continue to support that strong economic growth taking place all across our state. One that on the final day of the legislature, Senate Majority Leader Rosendale said was, quote, a budget that provides funding for education, corrections, medical care, and a balance of the services that are critical to the citizens of Montana, and that's a true reflection of our electorate. Several months later, after the legislative session, we closed the books on the fiscal year. Not only did revenues exceed expectations, thanks to strong job and wage growth, but state spending came in $32 million under the budget. And because of our responsible fiscal management, that's why J.P. Morgan has ranked Montana the most fiscally prudent state in the country. I think, though, that, and I'm not going to take us through 90 days by any measure, but the successes of the legislative session extended well beyond the budget as well. While there were certainly some disappointments that many of us share, like infrastructure, I think by working with a bipartisan group of legislators, we were able to pass responsible, common sense legislation that reflected Montana's values and built upon an already vibrant economy. And today, I think it really is a truly exciting time for our state. Montana is experiencing strong both business and employment growth. Wages are increasing. Government's operating more effectively and more efficiently. At a 4% unemployment rate's about a point below the national average. I know I was even recently talking to folks in Billings and Great Falls and other communities. They're saying at 3%, it's a challenge when you're at full employment. That does not mean that we're not without some challenges throughout our state, but we're about a point below the national average. More Montanans are working today than ever before in our state's history. Montana has, look, we all live here. We're all excited about what happens here. We all always want to improve things, but also take a step back and look at where Montana really is. It's been consistently ranked among the top 10 in the nation for innovation, entrepreneurism, business tax climate, income growth, including #1 for entrepreneurial activity and startup businesses per capita for the 3rd year in a row, first in the nation for what's called the fairest tax system, #1 for increasing college graduates with 2-year degrees, #1 for residents with a high school diploma or higher, the 3rd best place to be a taxpayer, #4 4th in the nation for export growth, the 5th in the nation for the lowest cost of doing business, number 6 for long-term job growth, the 6th best business tax climate and system in the nation, and the 6th fastest per capita income growth in the nation. Many of those statistics actually come from, knock on wood, the United States Chamber of Commerce. While our economy and our wages are growing in the private sector, in the public sector, and in state government, we are cutting waste, we're challenging expenses, we're cutting unnecessary regulations and red tape. It'd be easy, whether you're a legislator or a business individual or somebody in the executive branch or others, to kind of take a breath and maybe congratulate ourselves, kick up our feet and say, job well done. But that's not how we do things in Montana. Here, when things are going well, we ask ourselves, how could we be doing even that much better? As your governor, I'm certainly committed to tackling the most important issues facing our state, and I need your help. As business leaders, you are the driving force of Montana's economy. The jobs that you create are the jobs that sustain and strengthen our economy. And thank you for also taking part in tackling some of those issues that we all grapple with. Because it's not, as even looking at your agenda today, it's not like, okay, we'll just leave that to the government, or this is all the private sector. There are so many areas where we need to work together to tackle certainly the challenges. Now, 2 years ago, it was about 2 years ago, I guess, we released the Main Street Montana Business Plan. Plan was the result of over about a year's worth of public meetings with business community leaders all across the state, combined with a survey taken by thousands of Montanans, ultimately got input from every county within our state. And the plan really, ultimately what it did is calls on both the public and the private sectors to work together to expand access to capital, to build our business-friendly climate, to diversify our economy, and support innovation as key facets of our state's economic success. Because of the strategic focus of that plan is given to both my office and other agencies of state government, I think we're already making significant strides in many of the actions set forth by that plan. Through innovative new partnerships between business, educators, and workforce development professionals, we're ensuring that Montana continues to build on and build up a workforce that meets the demands of our state's growing industries, including healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and technology sectors. We've launched a robust workforce recruitment initiative called Choose Montana. Encourages people across the country to consider Montana as a place to live, to work, to thrive. This campaign complements the work that we've done, marketing efforts that help bring about 11 million people, visitors to our state, to experience both our world-class outdoor opportunities, vibrant small towns, friendly business climate, unparalleled quality of life. And tomorrow, I'll be unveiling another of the achievements or parts of the Main Street Montana project. Something that we heard consistently during conversations across the state was how useful it would be for entrepreneurs and small business people and potential small business owners to have a simple, straightforward system that guides them through the process of obtaining their permits, licenses, other steps that they need to get their businesses up and running. Because many times, and it's not just at the state level, but you can go through so many different agencies as you're setting up a small business. With that in mind, my Office of Economic Development spent good chunk of last year diligently working with state agencies, local and county governments, and the private sector to develop the Business Navigator. Think of this new online tool as a one-stop shop for anybody looking to start a new small business in Montana. Guides our prospective small business owners through a series of questions about their business idea, walks them through the registration process, hooks in with Secretary McCullough in the Secretary of State's office, points them then also to the appropriate permitting or licensing agencies relevant to their business. In addition to ultimately simplifying the permit process, the new Business Navigator also provides information about starting a business, offers a comprehensive checklist of resources to help start a new business. If you're still in town after tomorrow's sessions, we have, as part of the Main Street, the Small Business Key Industry Network is having a meeting, but then we're all going to the base camp at 1 o'clock here. If you're around and you want to learn more about sort of this Business Navigator and help celebrate the launch of what I really hope will be a great new resource for Montana's businesses, we'd love to have you there. I mentioned the Key Industry Network things through the Main Street Project. We're about halfway through the process of forming and convening 13 different, what we call key industry networks, or KINs. Many of you have been involved in this process. What it does is, in different areas, brings together about 200 business leaders from across Montana to discuss both the opportunities and the challenges facing their respective industries. KINs represent the diversity of Montana's industries and businesses, from energy and utilities, financial services, food and agriculture, to construction, telecommunications, manufacturing, and natural resources, and many others. After each group of business leaders convene a number of times through facilitated meetings, I'm then asking them to put forth recommendations of actions and initiatives that the state can consider together with the private sector. The aim is to provide some solutions to challenges that their respective industries face, and then capitalize on those opportunities available to them. Our goal is ultimately to build up and strengthen businesses on main streets all across Montana, not just in one or two select industries. We want to serve the businesses that are already here, to hire more workers, to pay their employees better wages, to grow and expand, and ultimately to become more profitable. Through those ongoing efforts of both the Key Industry Networks and the Main Street Montana Project, we'll continue to move it forward by working on training and educating tomorrow's workforce today, and that's all the way from early childhood to adulthood. Time and time again that I hear that one of the bigger challenges that businesses face is making sure that that pipeline of talent and trained workers are there to fill their needs as they grow and expand. We'll continue to work by building on our economic foundation, responsibly managing our state's natural resources while preserving the Montana heritage and our outdoor way of life. We'll work on continuing through the Main Street and others, continuing to cut red tape, minimizing bureaucracy to ensure Montana remains one of the most business-friendly states in the country. We'll continue to work through that by marketing Montana as a place to visit, to work, to live, to start a business, raise a family, and encouraging innovation in new and emerging as well as traditional industries all across Montana. I think there's a lot to be excited about right now, and a lot that we got done together. I say that both as legislators and as the business community. And from a government that lives within its means, businesses that are, and each of you are consistently and constantly innovating, leading the nation to a growing, highly skilled workforce that can compete in the global market. But that doesn't mean, again, any of us are done, and I'm not planning on resting on my laurels either. Stand here today as committed as I was, and as optimistic as I was at the start of last legislative session, to making the responsible decisions about our state's finances, getting things done, and upholding the values that I hold as a Montanan. So I'll continue to fight for fair and transparent elections. They should be ultimately decided by Montanans and our values, not out-of-state billionaires and special interests who hide from transparency. That's why I'm continuing, will continue to fight for the Montanans who have served us, the veterans looking for access to health care, or looking for that training and those jobs, the seniors who spent their lifetimes paying for retirement benefits, the family farmers and ranchers who are trying to keep their business in the black, the first people in Montana who deserve self-determination. That's why we'll continue to fight for equal pay for equal work, because no state should find it acceptable that women make less than men for the same work that they might do. That's why we'll continue fighting for public education, because I think good teachers do make good students, and good students make for a stronger economy for all of us. And we'll continue fighting for access to our public lands, which generates millions and millions, if not billions, of dollars for our economy every year. Those should be public, shouldn't be sold to the highest bidder or transferred to states that may not be able to manage them. I know full well that we may not agree on each and every one of those pieces, but I do believe that they're fundamental to a strong, prosperous economy that serves us all. And I'm excited to be part of that strong, prosperous economy with each and every one of you. So thanks again for inviting me to speak tonight. Thanks for all that each and every one of you do to make Montana that much better place to live, to work, to raise a family, and to enjoy. Thank you again.
Thank you, Governor Bullock. Those were great comments. We appreciate your appearance here. And in honor of recognizing the kids out there, we're making a donation in your name to the Kelly Kuntz Memorial Scholarship Fund. So thank you for that. Okay, I'm looking around the room because I'm looking for Stacy Dorrington. Stacy Dorrington. Okay, so when Stacy walks in, I will announce the silent auction winners. And if you have won, please contact Stacy at the front desk so you can pay before you go. And then we will choose the raffle winners of the flights on both Delta and on Alaska Airlines. So just as a friendly reminder, feel free to stay and mingle and socialize. And we will start tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. with our Eggs and Issue breakfast. And we have all of our legislative leadership here for that, which we greatly appreciate. So it goes without saying, please be on time. We have lots of other presentations after that. And then the last word will be our luncheon with Congressman Ryan Zinke tomorrow. So thank you for joining us. This is really the time when I get to remind you that we do this every year. So next year, many of you who are in politics know this, but the legislature under statute says that they must meet the first Monday after New Year. Well, is anyone calendaring for 2017 yet? Super news, it's going to be Monday the 2nd. So, yes, that's right. So, next year, the 2nd and 3rd, we will be here bright-eyed and ready for another legislative session. So, I've held everyone's attention because I've got the prizes, and then we'll excuse you for the evening, and we really appreciate Governor Bullock and all of you being here. Okay, with that, Stacy, so what are we drawing? Why don't I hold and you draw?
Okay.
Just in case. What are you drawing for?
This will be Alaska.
Okay, we're drawing for Alaska Airlines. Okay, go ahead, Stacy.
Are you kidding me?
What happened? Oh, I won again!
How does that happen?
Oh, come on.
You should all consider donating more. That's all I have to say. Okay, let's do Delta. I can't win again. I can't win twice.
Okay. So.
You go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, I should have gone.
Okay, so 466353.
Someone didn't write their name on that. Silly you. Okay, great. Read it one more time. Oh, Yay! Okay. All right, you're going to think this is totally rigged, aren't you? Okay, All right, so Stacy will read off the. Oh, Ed wants to say something.
Thank you, Todd, to the oldest guy in the room.
All right, so Stacy, let's see, who did we get there? Okay, Destination Northern Pines. Mary Kay Puckett, you are the winner of that. Okay, don't forget to bring your money, plus a little tip here. Destination Bobcats. Dale Mayhew? Yay, thank you, thank you. All right, Destination Fort Peck. Ken Richardson. Are you here, Ken? Excellent. Wow, this one, gosh, Bobcats, you guys, we need to get more Bobcats here. There's a lot of grizzly folks out there. Terry Kramer, you are the winner. Oh, sad. Oh, nobody bid on that one. Okay, Destination Virginia City. Kim Hannon. Is Kim here? Nice. Woo! All right, Destination Fairmont. Connie Pruitt. Congratulations. Oh, wow, Kim, you're a double winner. Destination Fall Getaway at the Flathead Lake Lodge. Wow, that looks fun. Okay, Destination Buffalo Hills. Don't forget we have the Governor's Cup. Maybe you'll practice up there first. Dale Mayhew again. Wow, exciting. Okay, and let's see. Oh, Destination Three Forks, Debbie Barrett. Great. All right. Oh, and we always save the best for last. Destination Flathead Valley to our own Rick Burt. Nice. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Thanks for your attention. Have a great night. See you tomorrow morning at 7:30.